So today we're going to be working on fractions as division. This is lesson 12 of our practice and problem solving book, pages 121 and 122. So our example problem says Miss Sudd uses 3/4 foot of blue ribbon on a costume she's making for a recital. How many feet of ribbon will she need to make 5 costumes? We have a problem that says 5 times 3/4 equals 15/4. You can use a number line to write 15/4 as a mixed number. So what does that actually mean? Well, I see it written right here, 15/4, but how did we get there? So I'm going to just kind of ignore this 5 times right here, and I'm going to focus right here on the 3/4. So I'm going to go 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and kind of make a little tally mark right there. So this is going to be my 1. 1, 2, 3/4. So every 3/4 I'm going to make a little tally mark. There's my second one. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. There's my third one. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. There's my fourth one. And what do you think I'm going to get when I get here? Let's look and see. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. There's my fifth one. And that right there is how we got our 5 times 3/4 gives us 15/4. So remember that 1 whole is the same thing as 4/4. So after we get to our 3/4, the next one would be 4/4, or we could write that as 1 whole. 15/4 is the same thing as 3 wholes plus 3/4 of a whole. Write this as a mixed number, 3 and 3/4. So once we got here to our whole number of 3, then we added 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. That's our final answer. So Miss Sudd will need 3 3/4 feet of blue ribbon. Use the number line in the example problem to help you write each fraction as a mixed number or a whole number. So we have 5/4. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm at 1 1/4. So these are equivalent fractions. The next one, 16/4. So I'm going to count by 4s right here. Otherwise, I'm just going to count by 1s to get to 16. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's why I'm going to go 4, 8, 12, 16. So I get a whole number of 4. So 16/4 is equivalent to 4 whole. 10/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 2 2/4. But I know that I could rename 2 2/4 as 2 1/2 because I can divide 2 over 4. I could divide my numerator and denominator by 2 and get an equivalent fraction, or it's simplified as 2 1/2. Because each of those will divide by 2. This is in simplest form. So now we have 19/4. Because it's going to take me a really long time to count to 19, especially because I'm talking slowly for this video, I'm going to count by 4s. So I'm at 0, 4, 8, 12, 16/4, so 17/4, 18/4, 19/4 is right here. So another way of writing 19/4 is a whole number of 4, and there's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So 4 3/4. Problem number 2 says you can also use number lines to write mixed numbers as fractions greater than 1. Use the number line in the example problem to complete the equation. So 2 3/4 is right here. So we're going to write that as something over 4. So a fraction greater than 4, which we also call that an improper fraction. So I'm going to count by 4s, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11/4. So when we're doing that and we are converting from a mixed number to an improper fraction, we can say 4 times 2 is 8, and then add our numerator, 9, 10, 11, to get the same thing, 11/4. Number 3 says write a mixed number and a fraction greater than 1 for each point on a number line. And remember, when it says a fraction greater than 1, we think of this as an improper fraction. All right, so our first one is letter A. So to be able to identify what this is, we have to see how they are splitting up our numbers. So I'm going to look and see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are separated into sixths. So A is located a whole number of 1, and this is 1 out of 6. So A is at 1 and 1/6, but it's also, I know my denominator is going to be at 6, so I could count these and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this would be number 7. But we also talked about how we could find that out as just an improper fraction. Taking 6 times 1 is 6, adding 1 more would be 7. All right, now we're finding B. We could do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is if we're doing an improper fraction. 10 over 6. And of course, we could simplify that, but for this sake, we're not going to. I know that this is a whole number of 1. My denominator is going to be 6. And how far past 1 are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. We could simplify that, of course. And then to find C, I know it's a whole number of 2. My denominator is still 6 because we've separated into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's see how far past we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My denominator is 6, so we can start from here, but I already know I've got 6, 12, this would be 18, but I'm 1 less than 18, so I'm going to be 17, 6. Number 4 says, which number represents the amount shaded in the model? Circle the letter for all that applies. That means it could be more than just one letter. All right, so I see that I have a whole number of 1, a whole number of 2 so far, and I see that this last one is separated into thirds, and 2 of them are shaded in. So this would be like 2 thirds, and here are, this is shaded in 2. So it's 2 and 2 thirds, and I have letter B that's shaded. Now let's see how many total are shaded in here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 are shaded out of, and it's separated into thirds. And I have one that's listed like that. So 8, and each box is separated into thirds. That's how I got my 8 thirds. So our last problem says, Brett lives 3/10 miles from school. If he rides his bike to and from school each day, Monday to Friday, how many miles does he ride? All right, so an important thing that we have to pay attention to, it says he rides his bike to and from school each day. So I know I'm going to have to take my 3/10 and add 3/10 each day. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to get 6/10, and that's just for one day. And I know that I have Monday through Friday, so that's going to be 5 days. So I'm going to take my 5, and I'm going to multiply it by 6/10. So we haven't exactly talked about this, but we're going to do this pretty soon. So I'm taking 5 times 6/10. I'm going to stick a 1 over my 5 as a whole number. 5 times 6 gives me 30. 1 times 10 gives me 10, so it's 30/10 miles, which I know I can divide both my 30 and 10 by 10, which just gives me 3 miles.